Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer BB5300-050-652 5-inch half surface standard weight ball bearing satin chrome plated hinge. Sorry, lost count of what I said. So this is a half surface hinge. This is what the face of the hinge would look like if you were standing on the pull side of a left-hand reverse door. I'm going to rotate it on its end so you can start to conceptualize. Some people, well, me included, it's hard to determine how these actually work and go. There's one easy rule to consider when you're talking about half surface or half mortise hinges. The operative term surface or mortise, the operable term always. So backing up to where we were, having paused that video for a moment, the operative word half mortise or half surface always applies to the door. So you know that if you're talking about a half surface hinge, that means the leaf is going to be surface mounted to the door. If you're talking about a half mortise hinge, that means that you know that the leaf that's going to be mortised is going to be to the door. So this is a half surface hinge. Tipping this hinge up on its side might help reveal it, and then we're going to spin it around. And I've got it oriented in the fashion of which how a door would be in the closed position. So this is the door leaf, and you can see from the offset that the door would sit into this area here, and this is where the hinge through bolts through the door. Okay? This is the leaf that gets mortised to the frame. Okay? So I'm going to help make my point clear, and forgive me if you just don't need it to be made clear, but I'd like to anyway. You've got your door diagram there. Okay, you can see where I've drawn the door. It's a right-hand reverse or left hand. Okay, now I'm going to draw the hinge in to show you just where it goes. A very poor drawing brings the hinge like that, where you've got this solid black portion here that represents the leaf that's going to be a mortise to the frame. It's flush to the frame. Then you've got the leaf here that's going to be through bolted through the door, and that is always through bolted, so it'll look like that. Okay, terrible drawing, but hopefully it gets the point across. Half surface hinges like this are very commonly used in those instances when you have a door that has become damaged at the hinge location, typically at the top first, or and that you don't want to remove the frame. Removing the frame is not an option. You want to put a hinge back into the 5-inch preparation, and that's less common than, of course, your 4.5 inch, but nonetheless. Okay. You're going to use a half surface hinge when your door has been damaged and you want to do a repair on it, because this you can through bolt through the door, and I keep talking about the through bolts, but there they are. Through bolt and grommet nuts is what you'd call that. Okay, or where you're going to replace the door, and the frame's still got some life in it, but the door that you've been able to source has the hinge locations in a different area. So this sort of installation isn't concerned with where the hinge locations in the door and how they match the frame. This doesn't matter. You're just going to slap that onto the face of the door wherever it falls into from the frame leaf. Okay. And of course, you're going to get all wood screws, metal screws. Metal screws is what you'd be using, but Bommer in their manufacturing process, that's the screw pack you're going to get with this, wood and metal screws. Okay, so you'd use it for those two installations. You would really never use it in a new installation. That would be atypical to use it in a new installation. Available from Bommer and in our site in several different architectural finishes. This, of course, is satin chrome. But let's dissect the part number first. First of all, it's a BB hinge. And that means there's 2 ball bearing packets on a 5300 like this, which is a standard weight, which means that the leaf thickness is going to be, I believe, 145 thousandths. Let me double check that. 146 thousandths of an inch thick. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to be marginally thicker than 1/8 of an inch. It's a standard weight hinge for a 5-inch tall. Okay, so on a half surface hinge, there's only one dimension that they're called out. This is a 5-inch, and that's where the 050 part of the part number comes in. The 652 means it's satin chrome plated, and this is a steel base hinge, so this magnet is going to stick right to it. Okay, steel base hinge. This is, and a little less commonly, this is a removable pin hinge. Okay, meaning that the pin can be driven out easily from the hole in the button tip, and these are called button tips. Much more commonly, you would have a non-removable pin. The NRP would be much more common in this because generally these hinges are used on exterior doors, and the fact that it's 5-inch tells me it's probably going to be a high volume use door or a very heavy or a very large door. That would probably be exterior and certainly be hollow metal. That would be my guess. So NRP would be a much more common feature on this, and this is a removable pin. Although, just making you aware of the fact that in my experience, a half surface is an outswing door, meaning the pin is exposed, meaning you should order it with the NRP version. It'd be like a BB5300-050N then whatever the finish is. The rest of this information to be important, that would be important to know is, in my opinion, would be the logo that you see here. And right above the logo, it says Made in USA. A fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I, to represent them. Good quality company, very good quality product. If you have any questions on the Bommer BB5300-050-652, half surface, standard weight, ball bearing, satin chrome hinge, or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.